All right, man, peace. So, brothers, over the last 2 years or so, I've covered a theme on this channel that many of the listeners tend to find quote unquote controversial for whatever reason. I have no idea why, especially if you're someone who claims to read the scriptures or who claims to understand world history, and that is the concept of a man having more than one woman, whether it be more than one wife or a wife and concubines or multiple concubines or what have you. Even cats who've been schooled properly and might not particularly have a background in the scriptures or what have you, understand the concept of there being the difference between a hoe and a housewife. And it's very important that brothers grasp this, because if you grasp this, the concept of you having more than one woman or more than one wife is not going to be such a conundrum for you. Now, once again, is you having more than one wife mandatory? No, it is not. Is you having multiple concubines mandatory? No, it is not. As a matter of fact, I always say that I would advise against most of you dudes out here not even having a woman until you get yourself together. You really should not have a serious relationship until you have your own place and a steady income, hopefully a job, but even better, a career, especially for the so-called black man, because there's so many stumbling blocks and traps out here for him. And the woman is the main trap. Okay. But the reason why I bring up this notion is to help brothers get out of that rabbit hole of worshiping the feminine principle, which for the most part is what the so-called black man and all men in this Babylonian society are instructed to do from their youth upwards. They're instructed to worship women from their youth upwards. And this notion from modern day females that they're marginalized, that they're disrespected, that they're denigrated in this society could not be farther from the truth. There is no society, there is no civilization on the planet Earth that overly values the woman and the feminine principle more than here in America or in Western society or European civilization, whatever you want to call it. So this is why there's such a divide between the man and the woman, because the man and the woman are no longer raised according to gender roles. They're no longer made to understand what should make them happy. Everything now is about contention and competition. And one of the main ways that they reinforce competition is through the notion that the woman is equal to the man. The woman is not equal to the man. No, the man's life is of no more value than a woman's life, but the man is the head of the woman. And the man does have the ability to have more than one woman according to his discretion. But his decision making has to be sharpened through instruction, because it's not just about going out there and sexing this woman and sexing that woman and, oh, I can do that if I want to. No, you can't do that if you want to. With great power comes great responsibility. Those are just the facts. So you have to understand what you're doing. But the reason why I say that is because it's very important. When I say why I say that, I'm talking about, once again, the man having the option or the ability to have more than one woman. It's very, very important that dudes understand that, because you should not feel like you have to settle down with a woman who's not on the level. So many young cats out here are raised to believe that a natural part of a relationship is sustaining verbal abuse from a female. It's allowing her to do whatever she wants, to go wherever she wants, what the scriptures call gadding abroad, meaning being able to troop to the club and to the bar and all that other stuff, and you're supposed to be in a relationship with that woman. The woman is supposed to check in with you whenever she goes, where she goes, out of respect for you, assuming that you deserve respect by being able to provide for yourself at the very least. At the very least. So once again, brothers, it's not about just being able to do whatever you want. But men, especially so-called black men, and that's who my channel is geared towards, are not raised with a ruling class mentality. They're raised to believe that they should go back and forth with a woman all goddamn day. And oh yeah, the woman is smarter than me. Men are just stronger than women physically, that's it. But women are stronger in every other way. Brothers, I have news for you. The woman has never built a civilization. She's birthed civilizations because that's the vessel that the Most High uses to bring forth the child. So the woman is essential. Women are beautiful, don't get it twisted, but at the same time, they have to be moderated, because they're children with breasts. People are not going to like that, it's okay. But they're children with breasts, okay? And they either act like they're 7 years old, or sometimes act like they're 17 years old, but they're still children with breasts, and they have to be dealt with accordingly. Now, when the woman gets to about 45 years old, that's when she starts to mature and understand that life is not just about her. Or when she has children, the Most High, hopefully anyway, will activate her maternal DNA, and she'll learn what it means to sacrifice for somebody else. But just to get back to the point, in this storyline here, we know that Usain Bolt is an extremely successful Olympic sprinter. He's won the gold, I believe, in 2016, 2012, and maybe 2008. Either way, one of the side storylines of the 2016 Olympics was that this person here, Cassie Bennett, who plays his quote-unquote girlfriend, allegedly gave him permission to do what he wanted to do outside of the racing, because I believe the 2016 Olympics took place in Rio de Janeiro. So supposedly the reason why she quote-unquote allowed him to do what he wanted is that she knew that Rio de Janeiro is known as a party city, and she was not going to travel along with him. He was going to be gone for 2 weeks, and everybody knows that what those Olympic athletes do is they basically all hop in the sack with one another. When they're not competing, they're all fucking each other. So to make herself feel empowered, she got on social media and said, I give Usain permission, quote unquote, to sleep with other women. Why did she do that? Because, brothers, once again, the woman is a groupie by nature. Okay? She would not have, quote unquote, allowed a regular guy to do that. But she would allow Usain Bolt to do that because she has not secured the bag yet. She doesn't have a ring, and she does not have a child by him. So she has to act right until he decides to make that jump. That's why I tell you, brothers, the woman for the most part is an actress. And she's a groupie, like I've stated. I recently saw the film again on cable TV, Tupac Resurrection. And I had seen it in the theater when it first came out back in 2002. But there's a great scene in that film where Tupac, he's being interviewed and he's talking about suddenly being the most quote unquote attractive man in the world. And he was like, you know, it's amazing to me. Just last year, I was in the same club and I couldn't get a woman to dance with me, go out with me, nothing. He said I was too skinny, too scrawny, too short, something. And now all of a sudden, all these chicks are like, oh, you're so beautiful, you're so handsome. Why is that, brothers? Because the woman is easily enchanted by fame. She's easily enchanted by the possibility of being put in a position of prominence. Power is an aphrodisiac. That's what it's all about. And power can come in different ways. It can come physically, it can come financially, it can come mentally, it can come spiritually. Some men have a spiritual hold over the woman. You have females who become groupies for guys who know the Bible very well, or who know the Quran very well, or who can break down philosophical ideologies very well and help them understand life. You have women who become groupies for athletes. They're fame whores, right? Athletes and entertainers. Or you have women who become groupies for men who make a lot of money. And am I saying that every woman is like that? No. You have certain women who are of a higher caliber. But brothers, never expect more from the woman than she expects from herself. The men in this society are so accustomed to putting women on a pedestal that they become embarrassed and disappointed when their quote unquote wifey or their wife or girlfriend goes out and does something that you should expect from a Babylonian woman. I promise you right now, I don't care how long you've been with your woman, there's a guy that she sees on TV or maybe even at work that if she had the chance, she would do something with. That's why you put the Most High first. The point being is this person here who's with Usain Bolt, Cassie Bennett, she's in it for the bag. That's why she's allowing him, quote unquote, allowing him to go out there, or she allowed him to go out there and sleep with other women. Because women accept men having concubines or other wives when there's something in it potentially for them, especially security. Always keep that in mind. So this notion that, oh, you know, a man having multiple women is so disrespectful to the woman. There are many females out here who are married to NBA players, NFL players, and they know for a fact that their quote unquote man has another woman and that woman has a baby by that man. But she don't give a shit because she's either trying to secure the bag or maintain her lifestyle. That's how that goes. The woman is a spoil of war. You understand that? And I'm sure that there are going to be many people on this video who don't like what I'm saying. They're going to become very upset. It's okay. That's a part of revealing the truth. People get upset. But the woman is a spoil of war. Whatever race of men have the most power is who the woman is going to gravitate towards, whether it be physically or mentally. The so-called liberal black woman in this society is a product of what she's been taught by television, particularly the liberal Caucasian man and woman. That's why they talk about female equality and feminism and things of that nature. They don't even know why they believe what they believe. They just regurgitate what they hear or what they see on television. So it's important that brothers grasp all this when you decide to embark on that perilous journey known as a quote-unquote relationship. All right? Make sure that you pack two things, your Excedrin and your work gloves. because you're going to get a lot of headaches and you're going to have to carry a lot of baggage, okay? So anyway, let's see what they have to say about this storyline here.
Usain Bolt on the beach in Cabo San Lucas with his girlfriend Cassie Bennett. Now, why is this amazing? Why is this
And as we can see, she's a very nice looking woman. But at the end of the day, when you're Usain Bolt, a pretty woman, you could find that anywhere. I mean, a pretty woman, he could find just as many grains of sand on that beach that he's sitting in as he can find beautiful women. I promise you, Usain Bolt will have no problem replacing her. And she knows that. Always understand, brothers, and I explained this in another video. Loyalty is when people are with you for who you are and not for what you can give them. You never know how loyal somebody is until they have the opportunity to move along or move on to somebody else with more power than you, more prestige than you, or who might be deemed to have better qualities than you, and they stay with you anyway. That's the only time that you're going to be able to find out who's loyal to you.
Why do we care about this? Because if you recall, Cassie Bennett is the GOAT. Cassie Bennett is the greatest of all time, because when Usain Bolt was in the Olympics,
as usual, a bunch of simp commentary.
The Olympics in 2016, she is the one who told him, look, I know what's going to happen. You're the fastest man on the planet. You're going to win all these gold medals. All these chicks from all over the world are going to want to bang you. So here's what I want you to do. Do anything you want. You get a pass. You get the greatest pass of all time, the ultimate hall pass.
She does not have the power to give him a pass. But simps, as I tell you, brothers, a simp is a female trapped in a male's body. So, and you'll see this oftentimes on the internet. The simp will try to use the same arguments as liberal women. And they'll speak like liberal women, talking about how Cassie Bennett gave him a pass. The reason why she said that is so that if any storylines of Usain Bolt running around with other female Olympians or, you know, just some of the thotties in Rio was to be brought forth, she would not feel embarrassed. So she had to put forth this preemptive strike. She had to levy this preemptive strike against certain chicks who may have tried to hit her up on Instagram and say, oh, look at what your man is doing, blah, blah, blah. She had to put it out there. I gave him a pass. She don't have the power to give nobody no damn pass. She just wants to maintain her status as being his main chick. That's it.
The platinum hall pass, and he took advantage of it. He used it. He was hooking up with girls left and right during the Olympics. And then afterwards, she was like, okay, we're back in action now. We're going to be back and together again exclusively, and we're going to pretend like none of that happened. That's the most incredible thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
It's incredible, but it's also a little bit sad, and I'll tell you why.
No, nothing sad about it. It's just life. That's all it is. It's simply life. And I've already gone over this scenario with Ness Nitty and Colin Kaepernick. Remember, at one time, Ness Nitty was dating Alden Smith, but she had the opportunity to quote unquote upgrade in her mind. So she moved on to Colin Kaepernick. Now, that's just one angle. It could be that Colin Kaepernick was who she was searching for the whole time, and she was just using Alden Smith to get into the 49er locker room. Who knows? Either way, the point being is this. She moved upward and onward because she was not loyal. She was looking to climb the ladder. Brothers have to start to remove their emotions from these relationships and understand how to love as opposed to quote unquote falling in love. Very, very important for your own mental stability.
It's just a reminder of how Usain Bolt's life is going to change now that he is no longer the Olympic star that he once was. Not only does he have to stop running, not only does he have to stop getting the medals,
he's the one who cares so deeply about him that she let.
You know what, let me apologize to Van Lathan because I thought he was going the simp route. It seems as if he's going the route of Usain Bolt cannot enjoy the fruits of his of his spoils anymore. It is what it is. Either way, Usain Bolt can keep doing whatever the hell he wants to do. I'm sure that she's not stopping him from doing his thing because she don't have the power to stop him. She's just hoping that one day she can get him to give her that ring. Once she gets him to give her that ring of Saturn, then the entire game is going to change.
He let him.
Wait, look at her. She should have never taken the hall pass.
He's going into a simp meltdown. He should have never taken the hall pass. Look at that. Oh my God. I think she has a vagina under there.
This was a giant test. She is beautiful.
By the way, she's amazing.
She's a nice looking woman, but she could be replaced.
Beautiful.
So why does he need more then, Van?
He said, why does he need more? Hey, when you're a conqueror, there's always another city left to tear down. You got to tear down them walls, man.
You're asking a question that's been asked for eons of time.
If you ask Usain Bolt, he'd say this: there's always another race to run.
Absolutely. There's always another finishing tape to break through.
Yeah, there is.
There's always another trap.
He didn't win one gold medal. He won multiple gold medals.
Right.
In different events.
That's right. That's right. So anyway, props to Usain Bolt, Andy Cassie, and I hope Coming to America 2 doesn't suck.
Yes, props to Usain Bolt, and also props to his woman. Props to his woman for accepting it. You know how much more placidity would exist in this society if men were properly trained on the woman and the woman were properly trained on men and themselves? There would be so much more peace and quiet. The reason why the lines to have antidepressant medication prescriptions are so long is because of the agitation that's created in these capricious relationships. Nobody knows what it means to establish a relationship with somebody else. Nobody knows what it takes to maintain a relationship, why it's supposed to last, what people are supposed to do, what you should be concerned about. Envy and jealousy always ruins quote unquote relationships, because most of these modern day females are trained to believe, no matter how much they protest, that they're smarter than men. They're trained to believe that, so from the jump, they're already hardwired to destroy their relationships. So men have to understand this. Plus, men in Western society are trained to believe that how males or men treat their females over in the Middle East is wicked and evil and cruel. Well, ask yourself this: which society has the greater amount of casualties from their relationship paradigm? The Middle Eastern society, which kills women for adultery and things of that nature, or the Western society, which kills millions of unborn fetuses a year because females are allowed to go out and have sex with whoever they choose? You have to ask yourself that question, because the Western man is inundated with these images of how evil the Eastern man is, or the Middle Eastern man is, for punishing females for being capricious and trying to sow dissension and confusion in their nation with their whimsicality. Right? Men here are taught that the culture overseas is wicked and evil and oppressive. But meanwhile, here in America and in Western society, males are getting oppressed through the court system. A lot of these guys have no idea if the child that they've been paying for 18 years is even theirs, because of how you've allowed the female, which for the most part, the liberal female especially, is a child with breasts. You've allowed them to take control over your society. It's truly an abomination. But just to get back to the point of this video, if Usain Bolt is intelligent, if he's smart, he's trying to make sure that he develops the rapport between himself and this woman, and he can prove her and test her over a period of time, because the woman is very patient. Like when you watch National Geographic and you see some of those predators, they'll hide in the sand, like one of those lizards or chameleons out there in the desert. They'll hide under the sand for 5 hours waiting for prey to walk by. That's the modern Babylonian woman, man. She'll wait years and years and years and years. And there'll be things about these entertainers and athletes that they don't particularly like. But, you know, they'll deal with it because they're trying to get to that bag. And a microcosm of that are these everyday relationships. You're dealing with these broads, and, you know, you meet them on the train or on the bus or at the club, and they're looking for something new. Like the movie with Sanaa Lathan, they're looking for something new. It's part of their thrill ride programming. All right, now I'll probably be dealing with that phenomenon in another video, that concept. I call it thrill ride programming. The woman wants to see her thrill ride all the way to the end. So she wants to find out things about the man, because that's what she believes relationships are about. They're about adventure and finding things out. And when she feels like she's exhausted who that man is as a person, that's when they start to act out. So you have to make sure that you have a mature-minded woman. You cannot allow yourself to, quote unquote, fall in love with or become enraptured by or enchanted by the woman. Then you become like a drug addict. Next thing you know, in the important aspects of your life, the things that actually count, you're coming up short, coming up woefully short, all because you've been sidetracked. So to make a long story short, there's nothing wrong with having more than one woman if you have not met the woman who's up to par. Now, when you meet a woman who's up to par, it's going to be up to you to make the correct decision, especially if that woman does not want you to have another woman. Because a good woman is extremely hard to find. Very hard to find. So if you do meet that type of woman and you're that interested in maintaining a relationship with her, and she's not interested in being with a man that wants another woman, you have to have the discernment to be able to distinguish whether or not she's worth that. But that takes a long period of time, man. You got to take your time in this kingdom. All right? You gotta take your time. You don't rush into anything. You hear about these guys knew a bro for 5 months getting married. You must be out of your damn mind. But anyway, kudos to Usain Bolt. Peace.